What if the healing you've been searching for has been hiding in the weird? Taking the Weird Out of Woo is a new series that's on a mission to normalize non-traditional therapies and explore healing beyond the mainstream, one episode at a time. Each week, we bring together 3 powerful elements: a skeptic who's open but unsure, an expert who's lived and studied the method, and a real experience that just might change everything. From sound healing to breathwork, energy medicine, and beyond, we're diving into the woo with curiosity, compassion, and a willingness to ask, could this actually help? This isn't just entertainment, it's an invitation to feel, to heal, and to explore what's possible when nothing else has worked. Welcome to Taking the Weird Out of Woo. Let's heal together. Today's episode is all about contrast therapy. You know, cold plunging in extreme cold temperatures and then going into sauna in very high temperatures and then resting. You know, cold plunging has become kind of viral, and today we want to make sure that if you embark on this modality for your health, your wellness, your anxiety, inflammation, the whole host of benefits, that you're doing it safely, effectively, and with intention. Today we're going to pick the perfect place, the Plunge, here in St. George, Utah, for us to have this incredible experience. So let's go.
Ice bathing, for me, I would rather do in the morning because you're cold and your body wants to heat you up and get going for the day. So you're having this mix of chemistry. The two together are beautiful. However, sometimes they're done back to back, like you just said. And I think for someone who has maybe done that their whole life, you're probably okay because you're in a really great cardiac health. However, those who are new to this experience could experience some challenges with their heart going back and forth. And this is a challenge, and I've mentioned it to them, that especially, I mean, the research shows that especially menopausal women, since we go back to like women, going back and forth between cold and hot could be quite the challenge on your heart and of course, hormones.
So just stay in the sauna is what you're saying?
You can, but you're going to get in the ice with us. But it's not necessarily dangerous. You just want to give yourself space between the two because so there's something called afterdrop that happens. Cold, you're getting vasoconstriction. You have cold blood stored in your extremities. Everything's squeezed up. You get into the heat, everything opens up, vasodilation. You still have cold blood here. It goes right to your heart if it happens too quickly. So it's really good to move and to warm up the body before experiencing heat. And it doesn't mean a long time. It just means, give yourself 5 minutes before you're jumping back and forth, where I see a lot of people will go in and out, in and out.
Not healthy.
It's not that it's not healthy. It's just that you're at a risk factor.
Okay.
And if you have a really healthy heart and you feel very confident in doing it, I don't see a problem with doing it. I just believe that I want to regulate one extreme before experiencing the other extreme. Yay! That was 13 minutes long. This is nuts. This way to go. Yes, you accomplished it. Do you feel great? Yes! So before we get in, I guess we should talk about how to get in, right? How to get out.
Yeah.
We could do like they do in polar plunges and do a cannonball in and splash, but that's not all that painful, is it? So really the way that I introduce myself to an ice bath is simply that I'm here to get in. It's a mindset of saying, I'm gonna go in, And it doesn't need to be very, we use the word woo a lot, like you don't have to have this superb intention to going in, because many times just like yoga, we don't really know why until we're there, why we're getting it, you know. For me, I like to go in with gratitude. I like to go in with my heart saying, I'm going in here for me. I'm not going in there for time or for temperature. I'm just going in to experience whatever I get to experience. And as you breathe, what you can as you get in, what you can expect is rapid breathing, right? The urge to want to hold yourself, which I'm going to encourage you not to do. I really like that. It forces a message of I'm not safe on the go. Your breath is going to want to. And so the breath that I like to use is something called the reverse straw technique. And so it's a ratio breath. So you breathe in through your nose, maybe 1 or 2 counts, and then exhale like a coffee straw. Out. Okay, for twice as long. So that's 4 counts. Eventually, you might go 3 counts in, 4 counts in, but double the exhale length. That's going to create parasympathetic dominance or a down regulation of the heart rate. You'll be able to notice that by looking at your eyes if they're dilated or not, or how your respirations are happening. Some people will feel lack of saliva as they're in that mixed fight or flight state, like sympathetic dominance. We'll sit in there until we're regulated. It's really not a matter of time. It's a matter of sitting there, we're regulated, we feel good, and then we decide to get out. Once we go in, we can sit here. I'll probably either be across from you or next to you, but we're in it together. We're not, you're doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. We're in it together. You can look to me for how to breathe. I'll kind of talk you through it. And occasionally things come up. Sometimes it's emotions, sometimes it's frustrations, and sometimes it's just a realization of things that you're letting go of. For me, I realized it was not my first ice bath when I realized this, but it was an ice bath nonetheless, and I try to control a lot of things. And here, there's not much you can control other than focusing on your breath, and you can focus on your awareness of where your feeling is. So what you might feel, hands, feet, uncomfortable. Okay? And that's a given, because in the vasoconstriction, you have that. And when you get in, there's not much you can do about it. It's just the way it is. That's really your unconscious self saying, I love you. I'm going to restrict the flow of blood so that the warm blood stays in your core. This is keeping you alive, keeping your heart from going absolutely nuts. And so, when we don't fight that feeling, saying, I must feel comfortable to be okay, you begin to relax. You might even feel warmth coming into your body from your adrenaline, from your kidneys, the adrenals. Even big breaths to where you expand in your rib cage. This is the intercostal muscles of the abdomen, and they create a little bit of friction, it creates heat. I focus on the parts of my body that are not subreptice, nose, head, and just taking long rhythmic breaths. Now, we do have a clock in the room, but that's not really how I keep track of time. I keep track of time by keeping consistent breath. So usually it's about 5 counts in, 5 counts out. So if you can imagine, about 6 of those breaths equals almost a minute.
Yeah.
In just in seconds. So about that long, and then you're at a minute. So that's how I keep track. So when you come into an ice bath, the first step is really to make a decision that you're getting in. It's meeting the fear, meeting the ice, meeting this experience with an intention. And it doesn't have to be something like I am strong or anything like a statement or affirmation. It's really just making the commitment to your mind that I'm going to go in and I'm going to get out safely. When you go in, you take a few steps into the water, you take a breath in, and then with your exhale, sit down. You're at about 50 degrees is what they told me. And we'll go in until regulated, which is probably just a couple minutes, 3 or 4 minutes. We can see where that is.
Okay.
So when you're ready, I'll let you stand. I'll follow you in here. You can go where you want to go. So when we get in here, I want you to take a nice deep breath before you sit down. Feel the initial shock on your feet, your legs, your torso. Part of you is saying, I don't want to be here, I get it. Come over here to the bench. You can sit down. Okay, so we're going to do this together. Ready? Breathe in. And sit down. Hands on your thighs. Breathe slow through your nose.
This is really cool. This hurts my feet, hurts my legs, goes to the shrinkage zone. then it hurts your stomach. Like as you go in, it hurts different areas of your body. Then it hurts your arms and your hands. Yeah.
After a few seconds, the initial shock kind of goes away, but you still have the discomfort in your hands and feet.
In my arms.
Yeah. And that's part of the process, isn't it? That we're so used to comfort. And eventually you come to a place where you can maybe even ask the water what I'm here to learn today. Other than cold, how do you feel?
Good.
Just chilling, right?
Yeah, literally chilling.
We get past that curve where you have to fight and try to catch your breath, and for lack of better terms, catch it, right? Like it's running away from you, but it's really your mind that's running away from you. When you're breathing, like,
Yeah.
even if you do that now, your heart will start to speed up. So as you slow your breath, your heart rate slows, which tells your mind, I'm safe. Even in the face of something that is quite challenging, it causes fear for a lot of people and discomfort. When you're breathing in a way that is communicating to your unconscious you, I'm safe. I don't care what you think, I'm safe. The body begins to produce the chemicals that match the thought. And that's really what this is all about, is saying, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to change my mind to saying, I'm safe in these environments, I'm okay. And for some people, the challenge is a very emotional one. For some people, the challenge is a very physical one, or even spiritual, where they're having this breakthrough. I like to leave each ice bath saying I'm leaving something behind, a part of me that maybe was challenged. Maybe it was the lack of control, or needing to control everything. Or maybe it's I'm letting go of expectations, how long I'm supposed to be in, or who I'm supposed to be, just showing up the way that I am right now. So when we get out, maybe leave something behind, whatever that is, leaving something that's been hanging on to you, like a backpack, just leaving it in the water. When we get out, we're just going to get out really slow, move our hands, and allow the body's natural mechanics to warm us up. And then we'll get into a sauna afterward. It's going to be a nice reward.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Energy in, pushing it away, breathe in, push it away. I'm still moving my hands to sort of inspire a flow of energy, blood to my hands and feet. By sitting low, this inspires it really low into my legs. You can reach really high if you want. Come back down, this creates that. And if you look at your skin, you'll see there's a nice red line of capillaries being full of blood. Blood came to the surface in your core to really protect and save you and help you. And you just move here, so breathing in.
I believe your mind convinces you that you're okay and that you're warm. So when you get out, you're still warm in your head. But things are moving slow, like your hands, you can really feel it in your hands. And so the more you move, the more you get your flexibility and movement back, and that helps quite a bit.
This will not necessarily prevent, but it'll inhibit the need to shiver, to try to stay warm. So if you're focused on the breath, you're creating your own warmth within, but you're also inhibiting that default reaction to shiver to stay warm, which is uncomfortable. No one really likes to shiver. Even though it's okay to do that, but it's not comfortable. There are lots of ways to experience an ice bath. You can go to a lake, a river, a reservoir, or come to an ice bathing center. And many people, because of the trendiness, will just find the easiest place to get into an ice. They'll buy a bag of ice and they'll jump into their little kiddie pool or to their bathtub. And those are all great, but many times we have a bad experience with that, because having a coach is going to help you with breath, also making sure that the conditions are safe. I would never encourage anyone to get into a natural body of water alone. You should always do it with someone else. You never know what's going to happen with currents or the temperatures, and there are cases where people will breathe too heavy while they're in the water and possibly have what's called a shallow water blackout. Not a good thing to happen when you're alone. It's really good to come into an ice bathing center, similar to Plunge, and have instruction and know that you are safe here. Of course, the beautiful environment really helps with that. Start with a higher temperature. Don't go with the most extreme out of the gate. Anything below 58 degrees is a great ice bath. And start with a low temperature. You can always get back in as often as you want. Start slow, go with friends, and have an enjoyable experience. Always consult with a doctor if you have a heart condition or some other conditions that you might be worried about. But we've found that a lot of autoimmune conditions, this is a great treatment for them, whether it be Raynaud's conditions or rheumatoid arthritis or other conditions. Found that this is a really great, but always consult with your doctor to see if it is a good fit for you. Make sure that it's safe and have a good experience. We have a different experience with this, where this is comfortable, where that is uncomfortable, but there's still this contrast therapy that we're having here, from one extreme to the other. Still focus on breath and have a present moment experience rather than what's next, just here, what's happening in my body, what am I feeling?
Okay.
Right? Let's enter the sauna. Hello, sauna. And I'm just going to work my feet. I'm just going to work my my body. Oh, electrolytes. Thank you. I'd love to.
It's a lemon lime flavor today.
Perfect. Perfect.
I thought with it being warmer than the first time I did a plunge, I think it was like 30-some degrees. And this was 50, I'm like, oh, I can do 50. But then you find out 50 is just as cold as 30-something degrees when your body goes into it.
You realize the temperature doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the temperature is not what's relevant. It's your mindset going in. That could be 58, 60, or it could be 30, 32 degrees. And depending on where your mind is at is how easy or hard that experience is going to be.
Yeah.
How long, I wasn't keeping track of time, but how long do you think it took you to feel regulated? Not comfortable, but regulated.
Probably 30 seconds to a minute to feel where I was really normalized to be in there.
Yeah, you still, the whole time your hands are going to feel uncomfortable, right?
Yes.
Legs, but how do your legs and hands and back feel now?
They feel great now. I can't sense any inflammation, and I liked your intention that my intention was to go in there and that to leave something behind when I got out, and that actually really was nice, to leave something behind when you get out.
Yeah, you're moving a lot of emotions when you get in, right? You're moving a lot of feelings.
Yeah.
Even if it's not weeping kind of feelings, you're still, the body's tense, the body's tight. I would imagine that's very close to if you're going to pull somebody over when you're in police days and then they take off, right? Your body's, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Here it is. This is what we're dealing with now. And then you respond to life.
Yeah.
And that's really what this is teaching, right? It's just responding to life.
And honestly, that's how my career was I just responded to people how they responded to me. If they treated me decently, I treated them decently back.
Yeah.
If you were a butt, I was a butt right back to you. So
yeah, I don't know how long we were in. I wasn't keeping track of that. I wasn't looking at the clock or anything. I have a good guess. We were in about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But we had a moment where we just breathed 5 breaths together.
Yeah.
And it was just us connecting on breath.
Yeah.
And that was about a minute. How did that minute feel? We weren't talking, we weren't trying to regulate, we were just breathing. How did that feel to you?
It just felt calm. That's when my arms started warming up again. It's like my forearms were really cold. And about by the time we started to do our breaths together, they started to not hurt and they were warming up again.
Yeah. And you left something in there. You care to share what you left in there?
I find I'm dependent. I depend on someone named Wendy a lot, and I need to depend more on myself.
For spiritual things that you're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting when as a partnership, you have your moments of awakening at different times, right? You know, like, I mean, hers may happen before, and that term awakening really just means awakening to that things are different than we've been taught, really. It's not some grandiose term that something in your brain changes, but realistically it is, that you realize there's something new to experience other than what we've already experienced in life, and you begin to question everything. And I think that's really what this gathering is about, is like, let's ask some questions, right? Why does this work? Why does it feel good? And why do I feel better?
yeah,
And reinforcing that, you know, by getting in again, is all I can say, is get in again on your own without being part of a production or a gathering. Just be like, I just want to feel good in my body again. Now we're enjoying what they would call the third part of this contrast therapy, is resting and integrating it all. As I say over there, the transition from intense heat to intense cold causes your heart rate to increase and expands and constricts your blood vessels. It induces a rush of adrenaline and endorphins. Other than the feeling, amazing contrast therapy helps introduce a myriad of health benefits, and then it gives us over here. But really, at the very top it says, do all these things and then give yourself time to rest. And I think that's the best words we can give to anybody, is make sure you give yourself time to rest. No matter what culture you're in, no matter what your job is, always give yourself time to rest. And I think that's where our nervous systems have gotten out of alignment, is we don't rest.
yeah,
We go from one task to the next, one assignment to the next, one responsibility to the next, and we forget that we show up best when we can rest.
What do you recommend as the beginning steps?
Yeah, look, I mean, what I tell people, and this was really from my own personal experience, but there's also studies that support it, that if you give this an attempt, right, a serious go, and you come and do a session 2 to 3 times a week for 2 weeks, and you do that, and then you see how your body acclimates to that, you see how you respond to that, you see how you feel after doing that. After 2 weeks of that, you can draw your own conclusions on as to, is this helping me? Do I feel different? Am I sleeping better? Do I have less anxiety? Whatever ailments or other disorders you may be suffering from.
Yeah.
And I think the proof's in the pudding, right? And so we want to get people in and experience it. And we've had so many that have never done any form of contrast therapy that after just one session, they're ready to make the time and financial commitment to actually incorporating this into their regimen. So that's my challenge to anyone that hasn't adopted this as part of their kind of health and wellness regimen to try it.
Oh, I love your approach, because it's, you see how your body feels. 2 weeks, 2 times, maybe 3 times per week. What, 30 minutes in and out?
Yeah.
Maybe
I mean,
45
listen.
minutes?
Yeah, the exposures can be anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes in the cold, and the hot, cumulatively about 55 minutes for the week. So we're talking cumulatively 11 minutes of cold exposure and up to 55 minutes of heat exposure minimum.
Coming into the plunge, making a commitment to at least try it. 2 weeks here in Southern Utah. Very convenient location wherever you live. And if you don't live in this area, find something somewhere in your own local community that allows you to commit to this experience. And I love that idea. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
Give it a try.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I have to tell you about a really cool thing that you may not know about. It is called Yin on Fire, and it's a healing arts festival down in Southern Utah, right next to Zion National Park. Let me tell you why this is so cool. All of these episodes are showcasing a non-traditional therapy or a non-traditional way of healing. What if you could actually go to a 4-day, 3-night event and have like this buffet of offerings that you could try out all sorts of different non-traditional therapies, go learn from experts, and be surrounded by an incredible community. And then at night, have incredible shows where you dance the night away. That's what Yin on Fire is all about, and you should go check it out.